Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And several of you have asked me what these types of enhancements really mean for T Mobile when they haven't had service or bad service in that area for, you know, 10, 15 years, whatever the case may have been. What does this really mean as they are bringing new sites to areas that they've never had service in before, or a very weak service at that? So it's it's simple, right? As a business, you have to move on and move forward. So this brings more credibility to T-Mobile's messaging. The whole 5G this, 5G that, them trying to change the perception, them making these types of enhancements and improvements just bring credibility to their messaging. The consumer's like, "Oh, whoa, T-Mobile actually works." And that right there is all it takes to gain momentum on the perception. Now, that customer with word of mouth will tell another guy like, "Hey, look, I can't believe it. I never tried T-Mobile before. I've heard they've been bad in this area, but now I have them and they actually work great." So they tell that person, and then that person tells that person, and then the next thing you know, T-Mobile has a ton of customers, that are now switching to them, whereas previously the perception was negative. Like, hey, T-Mobile doesn't work. It's bad. The calling is bad, and I've heard that in specifically here in the area where I'm at, and where T-Mobile is improving. I hear soldiers and civilians say that all day long. Like, hey, we wanted T-Mobile. We wanted to get the 40% off for the military discount, but we've heard that they are bad in this area. Well, now that's no longer the case. So again, this gives T-Mobile credibility to their messaging. This is what makes it worth it for them to offer the 90-day network pass for people to try out, because they are improving. And what T-Mobile was even 2 years ago is not the same anymore. They continuously are improving, adding sites, adding coverage, so they can continuously get better, grow the company, and change the perception for the company once and for all. They haven't been able to do that in the past. They just weren't capable. They couldn't support having the large of an operations capex that it would have taken for them to get as big. But now they can do that. Now they can afford to run the OpEx as high as they are. They can afford to spend more in areas where they previously couldn't, like the military base. So now that will come, like I said, with a perception change. Now they can go for some of the other agencies amongst the government installation, where previously they wouldn't have even attempted to do that. Like, before this change and enhancement, T-Mobile wouldn't have even attempted to try and gain any of government agencies because they were so weak coverage wise. They still had coverage, but it's like one bar, speeds are slow, congested, calling barely works, so they wouldn't have even attempted it. But now that changes completely. Now you can compete for some of those agencies if you so choose to. And T-Mobile for government, I'm told, is going to be very busy. Beyond just the VA, they're going to try and get several other agencies to join them. Even if they don't get the entire account, they're still going to try to get some of those agencies to join them so they can make some return on investment. So just wanted to share that with you guys, for those of you who have asked, what does that mean? Right? At some point, you have to change the perception. You have to change it for the better. You can't just operate on something that was bad for 10 years. That's not how business works. If T-Mobile continued to operate like that, the network wouldn't improve. It wouldn't get better. It has to get better. It has to match, and it has to be credible to the messaging. And the messaging is loud. It's everywhere. And now you really got to back up those words. So make sure you guys stay tuned for more. Like, share, subscribe. If you're new, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Live. See y'all in the next one. Peace.